And these sweet old ladies were like, okay, 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 eat, eat, eat. And I was like, sorry, 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 thank you, thank you, thank you. And I ate it and it was good. And then I ran away pretty much. I walked very quickly, totally embarrassed. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Love Drive podcast. My name is Shaun and I am coming to you from Seoul, South Korea. I am solo in Seoul. And this is take 2 of recording this episode because during take 1, my microphone was muted. So once I found that out, I left my hotel. I went to get a pastry because my stomach was rumbling and I came back and here we are. I am absolutely loving Korea, South Korea. The previous week, I was in Thailand for a friend's 50th birthday and spent 2 weeks there, a week on the beach, a week in Bangkok, and it was a fantastic, lovely time. I took 0 photos, probably because I had been to Thailand before, I think, and I was just like hanging out with friends, and it felt really, really fun and really good. I got a ton of massages. I ate incredible food. We celebrated my buddy's Casima's 50th birthday party, which was phenomenal. Hard to top. It's going to be impossible to top, actually. He had rented out this beautiful restaurant on the waterfront, and there was a really awesome band, Paradise Band. I forget what it is, but I'll link it in the show notes. Amazing. Great food, great people. Had a really beautiful time. And now I'm in Seoul, and I've been here for a week now. I am basically spending 10 days in South Korea. My plan was to bop around. I was going to take a train to Busan. Yes, we've all heard of the horror film Train to Busan. I was going to take a train to Busan. I was going to like trip around there for a little bit. And I realized that I'm actually a pretty slow traveler. I like to just sit in one place for a long time and sort of like enjoy the area. I also didn't feel like I wanted to explore a new town or get to know a new town. And I'm really happy in the neighborhood of Iljiro that I'm in right now. And yeah, just kind of just want to eat and relax and explore and shop and just be in Seoul. I do love cities. I love cities. So I'm happy. I'm solo in Seoul. And I am truly solo in Seoul. When I travel, I usually know a lot of people. And so I usually go to places where I know somebody because I like hanging out with people because I love people. But here I don't know anybody. I actually tried to find someone, maybe like one of my followers. I put up a story and said, is there anybody in South Korea who wants to hang? And there's nobody. Either they don't want to hang or I don't have followers in South Korea, or they don't look at my stories. So even though I've been solo, I've met a handful of really cool people. I met a Russian woman who was here on business with her dad. Her dad owns a tire distributor in Russia, and they were meeting with a Korean tire company. I met a Singaporean literature teacher at a museum. We had dinner together. That was really fun. I befriended the people that I got tattoos from in Hongdae at Needles Tattoo Studio. So Jackpot and Red Lips are 2 tattoo artists in Seoul, and I got 1 tattoo of each of them. One of them is a goofy tiger, Korean style tiger with a goofy little look and a bunny, a psychedelic bunny smoking a pipe. And then the other one is a tattoo of Roger, a memorial tattoo of Roger that people are absolutely loving. I saw that Red Lips has done like commemorative or memorial pet tattoos. And so I had her do one of Roger in the American traditional style, which is what I like, in black, which is what I like. And it is just the cutest thing ever. It will be the image for this episode. So check Instagram or look at the show notes for some links to all this stuff. So how am I doing? I'm ready to go home. Honestly, I've been gone since April 4th. Today is April 26th when I'm recording this. By the time you hear this episode, I will be back in San Francisco, but I'm ready to go home. I've had a great trip. It's been mostly ups, not really that many downs. My belly is ready for a home-cooked meal and uncooked veggies, which I haven't really been seeking out here. I've had the most amazing food in Thailand. And then also here, I've been eating Michelin star noodles. I've been eating kalguksu. I've been having Korean barbecue. What was really sweet is that the people who tattooed me took me out to Korean barbecue after the tattoos, which was like such a special gift. So I've had a great trip. My belly is a little like I'm just been eating a lot. And so I think I'm ready to give that a rest. But there's also this thing about when you're traveling, you kind of want to do it all. And as someone who struggles with FOMO, I'm having to just be like, oh, I can't do it all. I can't go here, go there, eat all those things. So I'm just going to have the experience that I'm having, and it's not going to be the most optimized or the most ideal. And that's okay because that's life, right? And so I'm learning to wear life with a loose fitting sweater and to not stress myself out that like I'm not going to have all the experiences, and that's okay. I can always come back. I can always come back. I will share a really funny story though. I was walking in a market in Hongdae waiting for the tattoo artist to finish working so that we can meet up for Korean barbecue, which was delicious. And I wanted a little snack, but I wasn't ready to like commit to a whole meal because I wanted to keep my appetite up for the barbecue. Anyways, I go by, there's all these food stalls, and there was one selling sort of deep fried like shishito peppers and stuffed peppers and seaweed roll and a blood sausage, a bunch of things. And I noticed that there were samples, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen samples anywhere. This is so exciting. And there was like a cup of like toothpicks. And then there was like a bunch of women there kind of hovering around the samples. And I grabbed a toothpick and I took one of the little pieces of, I think it was deep fried seaweed roll, which was delicious. But as I pick it up, the woman who's serving looks at me with a big X and goes like, no, 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 no. And then I look and all the women are like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And I had picked up not a sample, a piece of somebody's meal. These women had ordered the food. The woman who prepares it had cut it up into little pieces, bite-sized pieces, and had served it to them. And you just kind of eat it in front of the stand, which is like kind of weird to me, but I guess cultural differences. And I was absolutely mortified. And these sweet old ladies were like, okay, 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 eat, eat, eat. And I was like, sorry, 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 thank you, thank you, thank you. And I ate it and it was good. And then I ran away pretty much. I walked very quickly, totally embarrassed. And a couple of days later, my food tour guide was like, that's totally fine. They know that it was a mistake and they were happy to share with you. But it was just a really funny, like lost in translation moment. And I hadn't really experienced that much embarrassment in a long time. So it's a good experience to have. Hopefully you find some joy out of that. So it's been a great trip. I have not talked to that many Korean people. South Koreans are very friendly, but different than Thai friendly. In Thailand, like people go out of their way to talk to you. They're also trying to like get you into their restaurant and sell you massages. Like they're way more interested in interacting with you as a tourist. Whereas in Korea, I feel kind of invisible here. And they let you do your own thing until you talk to them, and then they're happy to talk to you, as much as they can. So my experiences have been a little bit more lonesome, which is totally fine because after 2 weeks of hanging out with dozens of friends in Thailand, it feels really nice to have just a little bit more downtime and just be kind of bopping around. I got a facial. I'm now being served exclusively face and skincare Instagram reels, which I'm almost getting influenced into buying a whole bunch of products, which I don't really need. So I'm going to get a couple of them. I already have a prescription for retinol. So I'll get a couple little face masks and I'll get some SPF and some things like that. But I'm aggressively being marketed to. The skincare / plastic surgery situation in South Korea is pretty intense. And there's a part of me that wants that smooth, glassy skin, that wet look. It looks good. So we'll see about that. And then what else? That's about it. I'm coming home in a couple days and I've got a tiny layover in Japan. So I'll leave a little room for ramen or a sushi, conveyor belt sushi. I went clubbing, which was cool. Oh, I am 39 days free of nicotine. And I will say that it's been actually pretty challenging here in Seoul because they have a lot of vape shops. They're called We Vape, and which I think is brilliant marketing because I want to vape. I vape, you vape, we all vape. And not only are there a whole bunch of them, and there's a lot of smoking in Korea, you can try all the flavors at the vape shop. And that would normally really be my jam, because it's hard to find a new flavor. So I went clubbing and a lot of people smoke here. And sometimes because I don't drink or do drugs, sometimes I like to have a little something, a little something, something to make things a little bit more exciting. And all I really have access to is sugar and caffeine. And I had already had some of that for the clubbing. So I wanted a vape to just have probably as a bit of a security blanket, to be honest, but also to make it a little bit more exciting. But I didn't. And so today's day 39, which is a huge, huge win. I'm very, very proud of myself. My Haribo gummy bear consumption has significantly increased. I've basically exchanged mango sticky rice for Haribo gummy bears, which in the grand scheme of things, better than nicotine for sure, 100%. So that's my little update for you. I've got a couple Q&As, so let's get right to it. We have a question from Mira about men losing respect for you after you have sex with them. And then another question about how to let someone take care of you when you're used to being a strong, independent woman. So let's get started with the questions.
Hi, Shaun. Good morning. This is Mira. I'm calling from Oakland, and I'm Jewish, so brevity is not my strong suit. But I am so curious as to untangling the ways in which men lose respect for women if you have sex too soon. So I think for many women in my generation, we've been taught and inspired to be sexually free and liberated, and sometimes that means acting on desire of fucking on the first time you meet someone or the second time. And I just think that even if men say that that's what they want or whatnot, if you're working towards wanting something deeper, wanting a relationship, ongoing connection, there is this way in which men, and I think it's subconscious because many of y'all have not done your work undoing patriarchy and misogyny and all the things. But yeah, I think there's this subconscious seeds planted of disrespect. And I don't know whether that's just because the chase is done, the desire's gone. But if you can unpack that, especially with how do you maintain the self-restraint to also be prolonging getting your needs met, right, on the other end as a woman. So there's that. Okay. Thank you. Peace.
Mira, thank you for the question. There's a lot to unpack here. I will do my best. I will start by saying that most of the women that I've ended up being in partnership with, we have had sex fairly soon in our relationship, probably within the first couple of dates. And I didn't lose respect for them because I was genuinely excited to spend more time with them and to see them again and to have sex with them again. There was enough, I think that my attachment wound was stimulated in a way that I was excited and curious to continue to get to know them. And I have had one experience where we didn't have sex for a long time, months really, because she was in an open relationship and her partner wasn't quite ready for us to explore sexually. So my experience is that sex doesn't mean that I'm going to lose respect for somebody. I will say, however, that there has been a handful of times or several handfuls where sexual arousal was running the show. And I didn't know that at the time. And once we had sex, the arousal and the desire was gone. And so was my desire to pursue that person, right? So it's not that I lost respect for them. It's just that there wasn't anything else deeper there for me to explore. I mean, at least that's what I'm telling myself. Who knows if there's deeper conditioning running there? I mean, for sure there is. So to respond to your question, there is a lot going on under the surface that a lot of people haven't worked on, including myself. There are definitely, some of this work that I haven't done or unpacked yet. But what's happening is something along the lines of the Madonna-whore complex, which is a Freudian concept that basically says that men cannot hold that a woman can both be a Madonna, which is a wife material, pure, desired for a love relationship, and a whore, somebody that they lust for and desire sex and sexual connection with. So they're unable to hold both of those. What do we do about this? I think what we do is that you will have to find men who are the exception, who have done their work. And one suggestion that I have is that we need to find dudes who are both caring and sexy. So they're both able to hold your tenderness and are caring and sweet and loving, and able to turn on the sexy, I want to rip your clothes off kind of attitude towards sex. So they have to hold both of those. And so can you be discerning at the beginning and try to identify men who hold both of these inside of them? And that might require a little bit more waiting on your behalf, right? It doesn't have to be weeks, but it could be a few more dates. And we want to find men who, when you have sex with them, which is kind of hard to do because you're going to find out after the fact, but when you have sex with them, they don't lose respect for you. They actually gain respect for you because they feel like they have been sort of chosen, right? So they feel like their status has been elevated because they've been chosen by you. So all of this, I think, is fairly hard to do. I think it's worth maybe slowing down a little bit, not to play games, but so that you can get a little bit more information about the kind of person that you're wanting to have sex with. And if you're wanting something more serious than just casual sex, then get really clear with yourself about why you're wanting to have sex with this person. Is it because you want to experience sex, or because you want to deepen with them, or because you want to meet some of your needs? Or is it because I want to have sex so that I can sort of like lock this guy in? That sounds bad, but some women do use sex as a way to make sure that the guy sticks around. And that might be a little counterintuitive, and it might be a little counterproductive too as well. So I hope that makes sense. I'm also super open to your experience. So if you've experienced this in the past, or you've been able to figure out how to be a little bit more discerning so that you can find like a more integrated man, please leave me a comment either on Spotify or on YouTube, or email podcast@thelovedrive.com, or leave a voicemail 415-494-9559. Because I'm not a woman, I don't know. I don't have a woman's experience, and I would love to hear from you. So, Mira, I hope that helps. I think you're right on. This is happening in the background. A lot of men want to be more liberated, and unfortunately want a more liberated woman, but there's still this conditioning happening underneath it all. So best of luck. Okay, here's our second question, and then I'm going to go explore more of Seoul. Here we go.
Oh, hey, this is Caitlin, and I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I'm a full-time single mom of 2 boys in hockey. I own my own house, my own vehicle, and I've run my own business for 11 years. So naturally, I'm strong and independent, even when I don't want to be. To be honest, I don't know how to let someone take care of me. I have really been in that position. I've always had to be the one holding everything together. I've developed this belief that in order to be loved, I have to prove myself fully. So my question is, how does a woman like me step into her feminine energy and learn to receive without feeling like everything still depends on me to make it happen? Because I would love to be able to let someone in. I just don't know how to. Thank you so much.
Oh, hey. Thank you for this beautiful question. I hope you heard last week's episode with Laura Griffith, because we talk a little bit about this. This is extremely common. First of all, I just want to sort of validate your experience. And even Laura, who is a somatic therapist and sex and relationship coach, has a hard time letting compliments in, or letting love in, or letting herself receive. So this is very, very, very common. I'm really glad you asked this question. Also, I sort of just want to give you some props and some love for everything that you have been able to do, owning your own business, taking care of 2 boys, buying your own car. Like, you are incredibly independent. And my guess is that you have had to be that for a reason, right? You didn't choose this. This is a survival mechanism, probably based on childhood stuff, or, your past experiences of having just had to take care of yourself. So lots and lots and lots of love for what you've been able to do. And I also think, really quickly, I don't love masculine, feminine stuff. I really, really struggle with it. Part of me thinks that it's repackaged patriarchy, that the other part of me sees that, like, yes, there are some qualities that might be seen as inherently masculine and feminine, and we possess the ability to have both of those inside of us. Like, I'm still struggling with that stuff. So I'm not going to really use the masculine, feminine stuff, but I am going to use sort of like giving and receiving energy. And I don't think that you have to give up on any of your like giving, providing / energy to be more in your receptive self, right? Like, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I don't think it's a zero-sum game. You don't have to give up some of to get some of the other. So how do you do this? Baby steps. All of this is always going to be slowly over time. And this applies to any new thing. We're not just going to go straight from the kiddie pool into the deep end. Like, that's a good way to either re-traumatize or traumatize or just have like a really, really bad time, which will make it actually probably even harder for you to open up into the future. So slowly over time and with the right people. So those are the two things. Slowly over time means like, okay, take it easy, right? Like, learn to receive a little bit. So that might be a compliment without deflecting. That might be asking someone for help when you're used to doing it on your own. You know, like, sometimes I need help moving furniture and I will ask somebody, but it's frustrating because like I want to do it now and people aren't available to help whenever I need the help. But like, an example is if you need someone to pick your kids up from school or to bring them to hockey, or if you need some help around the house, or if there's something that you need some help with that you would normally do alone, but that you think would actually be better if someone else helped you, can you try? Can you try doing that and see how it feels inside of you, right? So that's one thing, is like, you're going to baby step your way into receiving more. There's also this element of like, when you ask someone, like sometimes okay, this is what I think is happening partially, is that you do everything yourself because you don't trust that someone else will do it as well as you do. But, you know, that's how I operate. My standards are so high that I just don't think that anybody else will be able to do it the way I do it. I also have to trust that other people's ways of doing things is also okay. It's different. And also, when I ask someone, it means that I don't actually have to do it myself. So maybe I can relax a little bit. It does require trust. So I think the second piece here is, who do you open up with? And trust is earned slowly over time. And so what you'll need to do is small disclosures and see how people respond, right? So you want to open up to someone who is safe for you to open up to, but how do we know who's safe and who's not safe? Because if you open up to somebody who's not safe, then you will experience confirmation bias, which is like, oh, I knew it. People aren't safe for me to open up to. I can't trust people. I can't receive. And here's evidence of that, right? So we want to be really careful who we open up to. And by what you do is you do small disclosures, right? So you're probably used to saying that everything is fine all the time. The boys are good. The business is great. Everything's great. But inside, you, I'm guessing, are probably not feeling seen, not feeling heard, lacking a little bit of touch, presence. Like, I can imagine all those things would feel really good to you. So if someone asks you how you're doing, maybe you can start by saying, oh, not great. And then if they go, oh, why? Like, why? You have everything. Like, your life is so good. What could possibly be not great? That's not somebody you want to open up to. Or if someone says, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What's going on? That would be an indicator of someone who is able to hold you. And with that person, you might be able to go a little bit deeper, right? So that's what I mean by these small disclosures, to see how people respond. Do they use it as an opportunity to also share something like, oh, I'm so sorry that you're not doing well. Like, I could totally relate. I've had kind of a hard week as well, right? Like, that's nice. That's like someone that you can probably share a little bit of yourself with. Do this with friends so that you can eventually do this with a lover, right? I guess the last thing I will say is that I think your nervous system has learned over time, right, that if you don't hold it all together, everything falls apart. And so that softening for you is going to equal quite a bit of risk. And there is a part of this that is going to be really scary, and that you are going to have to take some risks and risk opening up a little bit to see what happens. And there might even come a time where you open up and it's not received very well, or you don't get the help that you're receiving, that you're wanting to receive, or it kind of just like backfires on you. And I hope that you don't use that as an opportunity to kind of never open up again, but for you to have the experience of like, oh, wow, okay. Gosh, I trusted in that scenario and that didn't really work and I got hurt. And I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. Because I think the reality is that like you're always going to be okay. You've always got you, and you're good. You know that. Worst case scenario, you go back to who you've been, and you just keep taking care of yourself. But I think the stretch here is going to be for you to like take small risks and let people in, and let yourself be seen, and ask for things that you need, even if it's really, really, really hard, right? Because ultimately, then you're going to be able to lean on other people. Also, okay, last thing I'm going to say about this: you allowing others in is a gift for them. I can imagine as a big helper, you love it when people ask you for help, right? It makes you feel special. It makes you feel useful. It brings a lot of joy to your life. By not giving people that opportunity, you're robbing them of that experience. There are people in your life who also want to play the role that you play for them. So let them take care of you a little bit, right? Okay, lovelies, thank you so much for being here. Your support means the world to me. Next week is a surprise guest, so stay tuned for that. Leave a voicemail, 415-494-9559. You can leave me a voice memo or an email at podcast@thelovedrive.com. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. That makes a difference. You can rate the podcast on Spotify. Leave a comment at either Spotify or YouTube, and share this with someone that you love. I think word of mouth is going to be the way forward, is going to be how this podcast grows. So I'll do my part by trying to deliver value-packed and emotionally sensitive and non-toxic love and life advice. And you can do your part by sharing the podcast if you love it. Thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful week.